Two friends, two minds, and one love for Arsenal Football Club. You are now listening to the Cod and Two Minds podcast.
Yeah, big baby.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, man. Chilling. You know how we do it.
Yeah, couple games since we've been gone, huh?
Yeah, Champions League debacle, and then the complete turnaround on Saturday.
Right.
Bless their hearts, Lincoln City,
Yeah, I mean,
They gave it.
I'm not even in a bad mood, dog. Whatever.
Yeah, they gave it a go in the first half. They really did.
Yeah.
But then it just
The big oafer, the big oaf, like laying around on the field like he just got hurt.
yeah. Well, he was he had to get back to. He's got to work at UPS the next day, so he was just.
Yeah.
He was just thinking of that. I don't know what's up with white guys when they get that bald. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know he still had hella hair, but you know what I mean? It's clearly a skin yarmulke shining through. Just go ahead. Just go ahead and shave it.
Get the razor. Get the razor out.
It's okay. But yeah, he was a handful. He was a handful early on. I thought he was gonna cause us some problems, but
yeah, lad's big. He's a big lad. Sure. He's stout. Got tree trunk for legs,
Is that your Harry Redknapp?
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, the boy's big. He's a big lad. Yeah. You gotta violently twitch and shake when you say it though. See, I think that's why it comes off better when I do it. Like if you could see me right now. Yeah, he's a big anyway, dude.
Lad eats 3 pies for breakfast. Yeah, he's a big lad.
Yeah, he's a big lad. Yeah, quarter pounder with cheese. Yeah, the boy's big. I miss Harry. I miss old Harry, especially during transfer window. He's the best. Man. Yeah, we're gonna buy a few players. Anyway, enough of the foolishness. Do you want to talk about Bayern or anything? Or
I mean like all I can say is like I'm not even mad at the result or whatever. There's even a side of me that's like kind of proud of him. Like you went out there for a half and you tried to show like you have some pride. But
they look pretty good. They look pretty good in the first half. There were some shady calls that went against us, but I mean, as an Arsenal fan, we're used to that. And the sad part is the most disappointing part to me is just how we crumbled. You know what I mean? I mean, you can't to give up 5 again is kind of embarrassing from big club standards, and that's what we say we are. So. Other than that, like you said, they gave it a go in the first half hour of the game, and it could have been a penalty.
We kind of touched on it. We kind of touched on it last week. Like I'm not even sure how good this squad really is, and they gave it. They really put a lot of pressure on in the first half. They did as good as they could do, and. They eked out 1 goal, and that's about all you can say about this was Bayern is clearly a squad that's loaded way more than us, and especially when Koscielny gets sent off. That's it. Like, this Byron squad would rip us apart from that point on, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. But I don't think it should have been to the extent of 5 goals. But I mean that's what we disagree. Look at me. I don't think we should have given up 5 goals at that point, even though we were really trying to push forward and do something. We weren't going to win the tie, but a little dignity. 10-2 on aggregate is embarrassing. For any club, especially a club like Arsenal, where our standards are so high, even though it's not really warranted. These last few years, but they are. My standards are high, and I don't think the team I support, Arsenal, should be going out 10-2 on aggregate in the Champions League at any stage against any competition. But that's what happened. It's over. We can close the book on European football and just focus on trying to have some get some consistent form throughout the rest of the season. And it started on Saturday. I know it was Lincoln, but the result was really needed. We needed that. You know what I mean? We didn't give up any goals, and we scored 5 against just a weak team. But we did what we were supposed to do, and I don't know.
The different from like how I was like Preston City, I was like, or Preston, whatever they are, United or whatever, like, I mean, against Lincoln, they actually went out like they're a stronger side, and they handled their business, and they put plenty of goals in the net, and here's the question for you. I got a question for you, because this seems to be my biggest like conundrum player on the squad. Give me your analysis of the play, the effort, and the attitude of Aaron Ramsey. What do you think about that guy?
Well, to me, it all boils down to people are going to think this is a dig on Wenger, but there's a pattern that's been set at Arsenal with players coming into the team and having looks like an upward career. They look like they're gonna be solid players, and they're gonna prove one day to go on and do some things. And the pattern that I'm seeing is that within the last few years under Wenger, that doesn't happen. So the players are not developing and improving under Wenger. You look at Ramsey and his situation. He's been at the club a long time, and he's had one good year. Now, what is the cause of this? I don't know. Maybe the cause of this is the fact that if he's halfway healthy and he's fit to play, Wenger will play him. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
so
yeah.
there's no. It's kind of like his. The standard we set is so low as far as pressure, as far as having to perform on a consistent basis, game in and game out. If you don't get your spot. The next man gets a shot at it, and if he proves that he's able to handle that sort of pressure, then he continues to play until his form dips, and then you get a shot again. You got to work your way back in the team when you're out of form, and we don't do that at Arsenal. A classic example would be Bellerin, who had a good game on Saturday against Lincoln, but he was much more aggressive and much more progressive, and just playing the fullback position the way he has the ability to play. But back to your original question, Ramsey he's completely out of form. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know what we work on. He could be caught up in that whole, which position am I playing? What's my role? Like, he doesn't seem to know it. And, at certain points in that game, I was like, man, Ramsey should be a striker. He should be a lone striker. Because, I mean, you see, he's in the box. He's fighting. You know what I mean? He will try to score a goal, man.
See,
He's relentless. You know, he just might not have the pace to be a number 9, but man,
see
does he?
now you're touching on what I'm talking, what I'm getting around to. So my conundrum is, there's times when I'm like he seems to be the only guy that will make that run diagonal, get into some type of a space where he can make something happen. So I'm like, wow, way to read it, way to get there. But then he skies a ball 20 feet over the goal and I'm not saying that doesn't happen to other people, but when the close-up goes on his face and he's ear to ear grinning and laughing and it's just a big joke. And I mean, one side says, "Oh, well, it's Lincoln City, and he knows that we're gonna pour it onto these guys, and we're gonna win. Like this is a nothing game." But then, the other side is that the state of Arsenal's season right now, I just think so many other teams, if you saw them in this situation, no matter what. Like, if you missed balls that bad, if you receive a ball at the edge of the box and there's nobody on you, no pressure, but your choice is to one-time it and you just sky it over the goal, like, I got a feeling a lot of players on a lot of other teams would not find it that hilarious. Would not find it that enjoyable. Like, I'm just out here having fun. I just he bugs me with I would like to see, Alexis doesn't have that look on his face. And I mean, maybe it's not fair to compare other players on our team to Alexis because he's intense. He's intense. He wants to always win. He wants to use somebody. He wants to score.
Right. I mean, it goes back to, there's no pressure, dude. I mean, and that's probably what the riff was, with Alexis and the rest of the team. Like, everybody's laughing and having a good time, taking pictures and posting them on social media, and it's just a big, love fest. It's just, oh my gosh, this is great, man. I play for Arsenal. I don't have to worry about anything. There's no pressure on me to perform on a consistent basis. There's just none.
Yeah.
Giroud, earlier in the season is the only situation I can think of where, he kind of wasn't performing early in the season, or he really didn't get his shot. He kind of got his spot took by Alexis. But, I mean, he worked his way back into form and scored clutch goals for us, and that's what you have to do. Ramsey, he was going to have problems getting in on his team if Santi stayed fit. He was going to have some serious problems getting time, But, I mean, in certain situations, Wenger would just put him out wide, out of position, or, just put him out left. Just find a way to shoehorn him into the team. And when you just keep doing that, there's no pressure, There's no What if you went to work and there was no pressure for you to perform at a high standard? You would start slacking off. It's just human nature,
Yeah.
Bellerin has no pressure, and he's a young kid. He needs pressure to continuously strive to improve.
Yep.
He doesn't have any. Well, he looks over at Gabriel and he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we tried that for a little while," but I mean, yeah, the young players on our team don't have any pressure. You look at Iwobi, what he's been going through lately. You can go down the line with young players. Jack Wilshere, he kept getting hurt, but when he was out there, I mean, he was out there.
Yeah,
he wasn't performing at a high level. So I just think it just boils down to, the player development, the players progressing under Wenger. It really doesn't happen. He needs to buy already world-class players You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who are set in their ways and have their own standards of what the way they play in order to ensure his style of play can be played. But if he's banking on young kids, who show a sign of magic, continuing that under his watch, it's not going to happen. It's just too much freedom. It's just too much, oh my gosh, go ahead, do what you want to do. Express yourself, shit like that.
One of the things that's been brought up by a lot of people in the last few weeks is, like they keep, they talk about like the attitude of the team and that Wenger doesn't, that reflects the personality of the coach.
Right.
And I mean, just to compare like some of the other, like Alex Ferguson or Jose Mourinho or Pep, like even though it's Lincoln City and this is like oh yeah, we're probably going to blow these guys out, like they would look at this like a good training session. And I want to see you, make right decisions and strike the ball well. And, and I mean, it sounds like I'm being harsh because we scored 5 goals. But I mean, being honest, I mean, we could have scored 10. I mean,
Could have scored 10 in the first half. We didn't, they came out looking kind of better than us. I mean, to be honest.
Yeah, like they had like the first legitimate like goal scoring chance, I thought, really. But
Exactly.
But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a level of the frustration might just be lying within me, like.
No, I mean, that's what everybody sees that. You know what I mean? The team mentality. That's the big joke. When you meet a stranger at a pub or a bar, we call them here in America, and you start talking footy and you tell them you support Arsenal. There's a big laugh and here come the jokes, and then during the conversation, wow, you guys are we're soft. The fan base, the sky is always falling. I picked up a Tottenham fan on Saturday. It was St. Patrick's Day parade here in Dallas, and he made a very good observation. That kind of made me laugh to myself. But he was like, "Oh wow, yeah, you make the Champions League every single year, and you get out of the group stages. Oh, that's too bad, and you get knocked out in the, before the quarterfinals or whatever." You know what I mean? He's just being real sarcastic with me, but he's painting the picture like you got. As a Tottenham fan, he doesn't have any of that, and they're working towards that. And here we are constantly complaining about it. But the thing is, with anything you support, you want it to grow and improve and get better.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's what I told him is like, it's not that we're just constantly complaining as Arsenal fans just for the sake of complaining or we're unappreciative, but we want to see some sort of improvement and we don't want to see the same things happening every year. That's very frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the monotony, it just drags out. I mean, it can really drag a season out, where you're just like, man, I've seen this movie many times over and over, like,
and not only that, the effects of it, to me, there is a media bias against Arsenal. There is this underlining inside joke that the media and referees and pundits, they love to, kind of point out and fall back on, but that's because it's happening. It's been happening for so long. What I mean? That's why, when you're listening to an Arsenal game and you hear the pundit and he's, talking about, a March collapse or, the team not, being up for the game or just all these little things that the media and pundits do they do it because it's been happening for so long. And it is the elephant in the room. The mentality of the team is soft. Arsenal need a spine. How many years ago was that the main thing? They need a spine. They don't have leaders on this team, or the March collapse, or just there's so many little things that people say, and it's so true, but it's constantly being overstated, and that's because it's happened for so long. So just imagine how the fans feel. You know what I mean? When outsiders are pointing these things out. I can't tell you should have. Go ahead.
I tell you, it sticks in my. You know what really sticks in my craw is like, so okay, we lose opening day to Liverpool, which they came back and almost tied it, whatever, lost 4-3 to Liverpool.
Right.
And Liverpool is a legitimate team that even if we're on our game, we might not beat them anyway. But so we lose that one game. And we lost the EFL game to Southampton. And that was the only 2 losses all the way through, like, I think the last week of November, first week of December.
Right.
That's it. So we went, literally, what's that, 3 months plus with basically 2 losses. And as soon as we got our first, disappointing, because I don't care if we lose the EFL game to Southampton, that doesn't bug me. I don't care. But the first loss that or poor performance that basically got put in, all the pundits, everybody, you see, well, that's it. Oh, Right. So like it gets me fired up because I'm like, man, like how can you just be writing them off? Like, dude, we've played pretty damn good football for 3 months now. But they just, like you said, the bias is that they just don't believe like Arsenal can keep this up. And then I get fired up because they're just talking shit, and then it all pans out exactly as they say it is.
It's the same narrative. It's been going.
And it's just like, man, you spit in my face and I want to spit back in your face. And then, oh my God, they're right, dude.
Yeah.
They're right.
Yeah. This year is the worst because we don't. I mean, I'm excited about the FA Cup making it to the semifinals, but at the same time, I'm shitting my pants. I'm so nervous as to, whoever we get. I don't know who. Did we get somebody yet? That might come out. I don't think so. It's tomorrow. But whoever we get, I just don't want to see us get destroyed, by Tottenham in the semifinal. You know what I mean? Or even Tottenham in the final. It's just, those are going to be some really, really stressful games to watch as an Arsenal fan. Whoever we get, and but a trophy's a trophy, and that's third on the wish list out of the 4 trophies, and just to get one would be a huge thing. Hopefully, that could be the caveat to Wenger, bowing out gracefully, with one more FA Cup and leaving the club. But I've even changed my ways on that now. Which is strange to say because. I want him to sign a 2-year contract, but when he signs it, announce, this will be my last 2 years at the club. I'm going to get I'm going to find my replacement. I'm going to groom him. I'm going to get him ready. So in 2 years, I'm out of here. That's what I would like to see at this stage because I don't have any faith in the board making any of those decisions. I know I'm in the minority. A lot of people want him out now with all the protests and everything, but it's dark day. Winter is coming.
I mean, the way I see it is, things can only be my wishes, but I can't. I have no effect on what the board and how they're going to decide what to do. So, I mean, it's not going to change anything for me. I'm still going to be rooting for Arsenal. So, true. I mean, if Wenger stays, he stays. If he goes, he goes. And like you said, I mean, if it is the fact that if he stays, I mean, you want a top-notch manager, or if he's saying like, hey, we're going to get our guy, try to groom him. I mean, would we be talking about Bold?
No, stop it.
Who else do you bring in that you can kind of like,
Well, I
talk
mean,
up, get them ready to take over this squad, blah, blah. Like.
Whichever one of the Invincibles has the most coaching badges and who's ever ready to coach right now in 2 years, give that part. Like if it's Bergkamp, which will be tough because he doesn't like to fly, so European nights is going to be difficult. But somebody with a pass with the team, it's
Patrick Vieira.
Patrick Vieira would be nice, somebody you can say now in 2 years you're going to have this position. We want you to work with Wenger, work with the squad for the next 2 years, and when he's done with his final contract, it's yours. I would want a scenario like that moving forward. Him just leaving at the end of the season is, whoo. You want to talk about dark days, dark.
Yeah.
Dark.
I mean, the thing that worries me most about that scenario is more what worries me is what quality of manager could we get that would want to come in and work with this board and take over this squad,
Right.
and most realistically, a squad that doesn't have Alexis Sanchez,
Ozil.
Probably Ozil. They've been talking about Ox now, like
Ox.
a gutted team that, like a lot of them would say, well, hey, I mean, I'm willing to take it over if you're willing to say, hey, I'm going to spend some money and we're going to get some more players in here. But
Well, yeah, that would be interesting.
I don't know if the board would do that. It's like,
Well, yeah, that's going to be interesting too, because then we can maybe see if it's just Wenger not willing to spend money, or as all the money that they say is available to Wenger not really available. You know what I mean? That one big mystery can be solved if we get a new manager in who wants to spend aggressively, and they're like, hey, wait a minute, dude. Kroenke's got to buy some shoulder pads for the Los Angeles Rams. We can't have you doing that shit.
He's trying to put a big screen up in the left end zone of the stadium. Like, I don't know if we could do that.
We can't do that, But anyway, that's what because whoever we get now is it's just all screwed, and it all starts with Wenger, not making a decision on his future. Everybody's in limbo, and it's a brilliant move on his part. It's so brilliant because nothing can be done until he says so regarding everything with Arsenal. Everything. Players coming in, players leaving, whether players sign contracts, it's all on freeze until he decides. So he's the all the Wenger ends. He's treating the club like he's a king, and actually not even a king, a dictator. Like whatever he says goes, and he controls everything. And as I stated previously, he even mows the turf. Did you know? Wait. Did you know Arsenal have the best pitch in the world? Did you know that, Fiddy?
Oh yeah. Oh, of course.
It's
true.
true.
A fine Kentucky bluegrass mixed with.
It's like a snooker table, Fiddy. Did you know that? Did you know that? It's like a snooker table. It really is. Ooh, what's he saying? Anyway.
But like and the domino effect of it all is like, the team's struggling. He makes no decision. Other guys are starting to think about their future because of this no decision.
Yeah. Dominoes.
You could literally say in the last month and a half, that he's lost value on these guys too to sell them.
Oh yeah.
You don't get as much for Alexis now because everybody knows Alexis wants out. He's got to get out of here.
15 months left on his contract, so that that's already hurting the value
Yep.
right there. So yeah, you make a very good point. The money we can get in for these players is slowly draining down the fucking drain because there's an awareness of nobody knows.
Desperate situation, kind of.
We're just and it's a complete mess, and I'm uninspired. I watch all the games. I fell asleep, for 30 minutes during Saturday's game. You know what I mean? It's just,
right.
you know what I mean? It's just I had to go back and watch some shit so we could talk about it. But it's just it's the worst of all the seasons because like I know how I'm it's deeply enrooted in me how all this ends.
Yeah.
It's just gosh. I'm so over this season. I would like it to end.
This has been a particularly rough one. We say it's following a script that we're very used to, but this one's been a rough one. It's been a rough one. Last year, I guess because it was last year, you kind of thought like, oh, they could just drop a few games at any point, Right. I think probably right about now we were like chasing Tottenham a little bit too, but
Right.
There felt like there was hope last year that we could get this back, but
Right.
like
it's
the doors have been slammed in our face in this season, like,
and that's the difference between a good coach and I won't say he's a bad coach, but an average coach. Conte saw what was wrong and was willing to change to fix it.
mm-hmm.
The key words there are he saw what was wrong and was willing to fix it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all see what's wrong, but Wenger's not willing, to change and fix it. And
Yeah.
that's why this keeps happening over and over and over again. So, it's a knock on him. It's a knock on his legacy. He's slowly himself destroying everything he built, and it's a sad tale. It's a sad tale, but I'm sure it's happened throughout history. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not a history buff, but I'm sure it's happened throughout history. Where your ego and your stubbornness prevents you from keeping up with the times and progressing,
Right.
And that's what's going on. Anyway, we won 5-0. We scored 5 goals. Ramsey got a goal. He bundled it in. Alexis with a beautiful goal.
Yeah.
And, just a solid performance against a shitty team.
Yeah.
No offense, Lincoln. I know you guys got 9 to 5s, and you know what I mean. You got other shit you gotta,
Right.
You know what I mean. You got other shit you gotta worry about. But hats off to you. You put in a good effort. You fought hard. You were just outclassed by a better team, and that's the same for us against Bayern. Although we didn't fight hard, I don't think we did. Ox did, but nobody else. Anyway, come on, let's end it. Let's who we got on Saturday, Fitty?
Who we got Saturday? We got
West Brom.
West Bromovich Albion. Albion.
Albion. Hey, is that I don't know where that game's at. I don't know.
It's away.
Okay.
At the Hawthorns.
So we got to go to the Hawthorns and play against a Tony Pubis team.
Yeah, I like when he says that. Yeah.
And it's gonna be a rough one. It's gonna be a stressful watch. Hopefully we got our shit together and we're prepared for the physicality and the fight that's gonna be in store. That's easy. We can dip that in the bud right away. Hey, these guys are gonna fucking kick lumps all in you. They're gonna play real physical. They're gonna be direct. Watch out for the flicked headers. Keep it tight, and your class should beat this team.
Sure.
Be ready
Sure.
from the beginning of the game. Be ready. That's easy. That's an easy speech, right? But I mean,
Sure.
will it happen? Will it happen? I don't know. We shall see Saturday at 7:30 a.m. East Central.
Oh yeah, it's another early one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, there's something to fight for. Believe it or not, we got 2 games in hand to Liverpool, so we win these 2 games on our makeups, and we're 1 point ahead of Liverpool. So, and we make the top 4. So there it is, something to fight for, you guys.
There it is.
Okay.
There it is. So hopefully we get on a roll like we usually do towards the end of the season to get that Champions League spot, because we need it to bring players in, revenue, and everything else that goes with it. Prestige. Anyway,
Pride, boys, pride.
come on, you Gunners. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's podcast. I'm E. Marshall, and that was Fitty on the other end.
Hey.
You can tweet me, or you can follow me on Twitter at eMarsho, EMARSHO. The show's podcast on Twitter is CITM Podcast. Our Gmail. Come on, send us an email. Send us a comment. Send us a question. Some of your thoughts. We'll read them on the air. We'll give you a shout out. Is CITM Podcast at gmail.com. Follow us on iTunes. You hear me? I can't get the ending right.
Subscribe at iTunes. Check it out. Leave some remarks. And seriously, hey, if you want to leave a comment or tell us something or whatever, that's the question of the week for me. Tell me what you think about Ramsey. I want to know, because like I said, I'm tossed up. I'm not sure what to think about him. He works hard. He does work hard out there. I do see that. I just don't know how good he really is.
Definitely. And the show is everywhere. SoundCloud. Just do a search. Caught in Two Minds.
There you go.
Sorry.
You can find me on Twitter at Gooner Rush, and I'm here. I'm here to talk. Anybody want to talk?
That's gonna do it. That is gonna do it. No Homeland talk this week. I am caught up though. This shit's getting good, ain't it?
Yeah, dog. Oh yeah.
Carrie started drinking again.
That was the last scene, right?
Yeah, I love when she gets all shitty. She's gonna start fucking dudes. She's gonna start fucking people real soon. She's a freak. Anyway, peace.
Peace out, y'all. Feel that outro, y'all. Feel it.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Caught in Two Minds. Please head on over to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and review the show. All feedback is much appreciated. If you would like to contact the show, drop us an email at citmpodcast@gmail.com. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at CITM Podcast, at Gooner Rush, and at E. Marshall. That's EMARSHO. The music in this podcast has been provided by Statics. If you like what you hear, be sure to check them out at staticsentertainment.com and follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Statics Music. That's STATX Music. Peace.